welcome to the channel Bob Sales this times next year. We all know Banksy's coming to the VEVE app, so with that in mind I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at the man himself. Not only that, but some of the artworks and the meaning to them. I also wanted to go over some of the recently sold artwork, also brandalism, and finally, did Banksy already reveal himself in 2003? With that in mind, this is going to be quite a long video, so please strap in. Banksy is an English street artist, also he's a political activist, a film director whose real name and identity remain a secret. What we do know is the artist has been doing art since the 1990s, as that's when they originally started appearing. His street art and hidden messages combine dark humour with graffiti, executed in a distinctive stenciling technique. His works of political and social problems have appeared on the streets, walls, bridges throughout the world. Banksy's work grew out of the Bristol underground scene, which involved partnerships between artists and musicians. Banksy's first inside art exhibition took place in a flat 1998. This was of course in Bristol, where he mostly showcased some acrylic on canvas. There was notably an early version of Love Is In The Air, The Man With The Flowers. Mostly in the 90s you're going to find his artwork in Bristol, London and Brighton. This is why most people believe it originated from there, or at least lived there. Banksy's first known and preserved artwork on a wall is entitled The Mild West. This first appeared in 1999 to cover an advertising of a former solicitor's office. This was also in Stokes Croft, Bristol. This depicts a teddy bear about to throw a Molotov, and not only that, it's thrown at 3 riot police officers. This was in reference to a recent incident between police and some of Bristol's youth. By the year 2000, most people believe Banksy had actually turned into the art of stenciling. This must have been after realising how long his art takes to complete. The urban legend claims the artist changed to stenciling while hiding from the police under a rubbish lorry. This was when he noticed a stenciled serial number. He realised by employing this technique he was able to move more quickly, discreetly and efficiently. And considering street art or graffiti is illegal,
that's fucking illegal.
Love Is In The Air is what the item we're going to get on VEVE is, also known as a flower for art or liter. This first appeared in 2003 as a large format stencil graffiti in Jerusalem. This was shortly after construction of the West Bank wall. The graffiti was made on a 660 kilometre wall that separates Palestine from Israel. The wall, as Banksy put it, essentially turns Palestine into the world's largest open prison. In 2003 there was actually an expedition called Turf War. This was held in a London warehouse. This is where Banksy actually painted on live animals. Even though the conditions were deemed suitable by authorities, one animal rights activist actually chained herself to the fence in protest. Of course Banksy used non-toxic paint because he's not stupid. In this early exhibit, Banksy released works such as Monkey Queen and Toxic. Now this event will come up again later on in this video, so pay attention to the scene, the setting and the date. Now it was in 2006 when his career actually took off. Banksy actually did his first art installation, and this was at Los Angeles. At this event is where the celebrities took notice, and this is where Banksy became mainstream. In 2008 Banksy organised his first open air street art expedition called Walls of Fire, and this was with the Town Halls Agreement in Bristol. In 2010 he directed an Oscar nominated film, Through the Gift Shop. Now in 2015 it's quite a funny one, he actually opens Dismaland. Dismaland is actually a theme park and it's based on Disneyland. But of course it's zombified and apocalyptic. But we'll save that for another video because that's a whole video in itself. So we'll skip a few years and let's start looking at actually who Banksy could be. Now in October 2018, the famous incident at Sotheby's auction happened. A version of Balloon Gold actually got sold at the auction itself. This got sold for £1.1 million. Now shortly after the item was sold and the gavel was dropped, an alarm sounded and the canvas actually passed through a shredder. This was hidden in the frame. This partially shredded the piece before it was stopped or malfunctioned. Now at the time you couldn't escape this was covered by the world's media. Sotheby's actually released a statement. Banksy didn't destroy an artwork, he actually created it. They actually said it was the first artwork in history to be created during the auction. Now there's a couple of things about the frame. First, it was so bulky it must have weighed a ton. And not only that, the thickness of the back of the picture. Surely look at it. Also, with a high value piece like this, to authenticate it, I would expect the auction to open the back. I think a normal inspection from anyone you would have sussed there was something wrong with the frame. So I tend to think Sotheby's was in on the trick. Banksy actually posted the image of the shredding on Instagram, captioned it going, gone. So Banksy was definitely there, or someone he knew was there. Banksy even later published a video showing him building the frame. And personally, I would say it looks like the frame, it looks legit. He also said he'd done this because he never wanted the artwork to be sold. Now this is where the story gets interesting. One of the people suspected of being Banksy is Robin Gunningham. Now we know that once Banksy did in fact use the name Robin to check into a hotel in 1994. This was way before he was famous. In an interview in 2017, DJ Goldie actually referred to Banksy as Rob. Rob is also a street artist from Bristol, and he does actually deny he's Banksy. But the point of this is, guess who was photographed at the auction? No other than Rob Gunningham. And not only that, he was sat at the same angle, same area as the video was took. So in my mind, Rob could possibly be Banksy, or he could definitely know Banksy. Now going back a bit, you remember the event I mentioned, Tough War, which was held in London, in the warehouse where Banksy painted the animal. Keeping all that in mind, take a look at this clip from 2003.
Man Banksy. 16 years ago he said he was, but the interview was lost and forgotten until now. Recent display of Banksy's painting at Bristol Museum that I found that there was a lost interview with someone claiming to be the artist in the ITV News tape archives. This is 2003.
Oh, his face?
Yes.
The only problem, Rob, is that I can't remember what his face looked like. Details to the police.
No. What details have you got?
I know your real name. I know your real name.
Do you?
Yes, ITV News did in fact interview someone claiming to be Banksy at an event similar described to 2003. This is a known Banksy event on record. Now bearing in mind with the timeline, Banksy didn't really take off to 2006. This could possibly be a Banksy regretting his decision,
Teaching him never to do another one, because of course part of his success is based on the allure of anonymity. He should never have done the interview with me. My doing the interview with him taught him never again
be interviewed. One of the other things I did want to mention is an auction program on Channel 4 at them. So in the auction itself, someone actually brung in part of a wall. This was stenciled in the style of Banksy. Now they did actually get experts to look at this, and they could not make a decision whether they thought it was real or not. And with Banksy theoretically stenciling all his work, it's really hard to judge, so they couldn't come to an agreement, so it was not authenticated. Now one of the geezers in this program has actually made it his job to go around and take Banksy's artwork off of shop walls, bank walls, and sell it at auction. With that being said, let me show you the final price.
I'll take $2.15.
2.15 I will take as we've come so far. And we're at 2.20 straight away. At 2.45 it's here. You know what's next, sir. 250! 250,000!
So I think you'll agree, for something that weren't authenticated, that was a really good price. So let's talk about brandalised. So we know VEVE are actually getting their artwork through Brandalised. Now Brandalised is one of the prime ones, making a lot of money off of Banksy's artwork. Brandalised actually deems itself the official partner to the world's most famous graffiti artists. So no, they don't just go for Banksy's work, they go for a lot of street artists, a lot of graffiti. Now of course Banksy himself has nothing to do with Brandalised, but Full Colour Black, a Brandalised partner company, actually beat Banksy at copyright court to actually use his graffiti. Thanks to Brandalised actually winning that case, they're allowed to do what they want. So it is in fact all legal. So not long ago we actually heard about Guess Clothing that was using Banksy's artwork. Now Guess Clothing actually thought they'd done no wrong because they brought it for Brandalised. With that being said, Banksy was not happy. He did actually go to Twitter and tell all of his followers to go to the shop and steal what they could. He said they're essentially stealing from him, so why shouldn't everyone go and help themselves? Now the store did actually take the display down. I'm not sure what happened after that though, because by law they've legally got the right. So I'll leave you with this Banksy statement. Any advertising in a public space that gives you no choice whether you see it or not is yours. Belongs to you. It's yours to take, rearrange and reuse. Asking for permission is like asking to keep a rock someone just threw at your head. I quote Banksy. And when explaining what Brandalised actually done, they actually tweeted this same quote, this same exact sentence, but they switched advertising with graffiti. So personally, I think VEVE should stay away from it, but we already know they're not gonna. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Should we stay away from this? Do you like this? Will you buy one?
People are asking, is Banksy going to go after VEVE for this, like, with the Banksy stuff? Like, how does the process work for you guys?
Yeah, so just set the record in. Thank you for bringing that question up, and I just talked to Dan just prior to coming on, and we have spoke to our licensor, the brandalised, and as well as with Medicom. Just keep in mind, VEVE is a licensee, and what we do is we bring collectible to our platforms. Now, the licensee that we're working with is brandalised, and we are also working with Medicom, and it's inspired a section of the toys that they have brought out as a 3D collectible onto our thing. You probably have seen some of the video footage that we have put up. It is made by fans for the fans. Alright, so they're not actually being endorsed by him. Just want to set the record right. It is coming from a company that has been licensing to, as you mentioned, yes. And the product and our legal have checked it, it's all legitimate license that we have. Just so we understand, there will be territory restrictions in some of the items. If the brands have license to sell in the US, then it will be available. There are certain certain items will not be available in the US because different property owners and IP owners owns different things.
That's fucking illegal.
It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
So as always, I've been your host Bob Sales. This time next year, we will be millionaires. Peace.